Hello, ladies and
Cool.
gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Game Chat. Thank you for sticking with us. We've been holding this episode off for a little bit because we had a lead and we've been gone for a little bit. But season 2 coming strong, and we want to talk about it while it's still kind of new. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Me and Anthony
And
had
you
the
know what,
chance.
Brunner? I think this is a perfect way to talk about it. Yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt you, but I think this is a perfect time to talk about
mhm,
it because I think everyone and their mom's seen it now,
yeah,
except our elite, apparently. So, this will be spoilers, like Brunner
yeah.
said. Sorry again
Well,
for cutting him off.
let's just go real quick, non-spoiler review. I thought it was pretty good. It's not spoiler, but Willem Dafoe, he killed it. His performance, as always,
Oh yeah,
man's a legend. Doc Ock
that's a
was
go.
good. Villains were good. Story was good. A lot of complaints I have with the movie are spoilers, so we'll get into it. Anthony, do you want to say anything before we get into spoilers?
Yeah, non-spoiler review. If you're a Spider-Man fan, I think you'll love. That's not even I think in this movie. You will love this movie. If first off, if you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Um, Go watch it again. I'm sure you still won't get the same crowd reaction. If you did watch it day one, let us know. Tell us how your crowd was. I know our crowd. I saw it when I saw it the second time in Woodburn. Our crowd was really good. My first crowd was amazing. They were loud. Um, Let us know how your crowds. Because when I went to go see it for the third time, no one even cheered when Andrew took off their mask, and that was really cringe for me. So let us know, guys. Let us know your reaction. Great film. Like Bruner said, the only complaints I do have are in spoilers, but great film. It's a great film if you just want to go have a good time. Good, boy becomes man
Yeah,
situation. I don't really know
yeah,
what the theme
yeah.
is
That's
that,
what
but
it's good.
hey, yeah. So
Uh,
go watch that
yeah,
film right now. Go on a Tuesday.
yeah.
Perfect time.
Do you want to give it a score out of 10?
I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but I do think it is a 9.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of
All
10.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
All right, you ready against
Good,
spoiler?
good,
Yeah, good
good
movie.
ratings. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right. So, spoiler is about to start. So, I mean, thank you if you guys are done.
Yeah,
But for the rest of your beautiful listeners out there, Spider-Man: No Way Home spoiler review.
yeah. So big.
What did Game Chat
Yeah.
think?
So biggest surprise of all, the rumors were true. The Spider-Men were there. Toby and Andrew. I didn't expect Toby. I think Toby was the biggest thing to me. Um, before the movies were coming out, like there's so many leaks on YouTube and online, and then like Sony released the first 5 minutes. I'm like, what's the point? And I told Anthony, I'm like, you can basically stitch the movie together. Like,
Yep.
there's been so many leaks. And Andrew on all these interviews, he's like, "I'm not in the movie. I never got the call. I would love to do it. I never got it." And then he was in it, and Leah, our
Yeah,
crowd went insane.
yeah, our crowd went insane, and he got all the love he deserved. Beautiful moment. We'll go piece by piece. We'll start off with the first act. First off, I will love to say this. I was wrong. I did say Daredevil would not appear in the film, and I ate my words because for if my cousin's watching this, shout out Yet Ed. She asked me, "Who's that guy?" I'm like, seriously? I was like, come on. But no, shout out Charlie Cox, right? That's his
Yeah,
name?
Charlie Cox. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
biggest thing because they're
Shout
like,
him out.
"Oh, he's in it," and that's him being the interrogation scene. When no, like, you know, they didn't have to do it, but they threw him in here, and we're here for it. And
Yeah,
apparently,
exactly.
Fisk is
And
in
we love it. All
Hawkeye.
right.
So
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched Hawkeye, I know I'm a MCU lover, so I've seen every show every week. Fisk does come out, so I did kind of have a feeling he was gonna appear, but I was still like, nah, I'm gonna stick to my word. He did come out. My audience went loud. Great guy. The actor's a great guy. He kept it a secret too. So we're starting off with the first act. Bruno. It opens up, starts straight from the end of Spider-Man 2, Far From Home.
yeah,
One thing I love about the scene is the one shot in the beginning when it's MJ, Peter, Happy, and Aunt May. And if you guys can't tell, it's kind of one shot. I don't know if it's one shot, but it looks one shot. And it's from Peter coming in the house until Happy coming in the room. And it's just shot beautifully. And I thought this was like an amazing part of the film. And you could see how his life starts to change slowly from happy, good friends to, things are not as good as they say they are. And I think that's what I like about this film. Because I thought these other two films were too happy. You know what I mean? Homecoming, a lot of laughs. There was that beautiful moment with the I Am Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, again, a lot of laughs. And there was that beautiful moment with Iron Man. But in this movie, you really feel like Peter Parker is just getting every aspect of, like, the pile. So it starts off with his friends not getting an IT. How do you feel about that? Act 1, Brunner, go.
Act 1. My favorite part, Act 1, was when he goes to school, and I forget what his name, but it's the guy who plays Guilfoyle.
Yes.
And then
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, and then Hannibal Buress, and then JB Smoove, and he's like, if you want to walk or crawl on the walls or swing around, and then Hannibal Buress is like, nah, Mysterio was right. He's a villain.
Mysterio, and of course we all know that, like, of course that actor would be the one to be like, he was right. He was right. Hilarious part. And just from those 10 seconds, you could feel their personalities from the last two movies in that one. And I think, again, like you said, shout out the actor. I don't know his name, sorry. He plays amazing. He could go both roles, dude, from a serious Satanist to nerdy high school teacher.
Martin Starr, that's his name.
Shout out Martin.
Yeah, shout out Martin.
So we see that. We see Peter's life getting ruined, basically. And you really start feeling for Peter here. And I think the first time I was watching this, I was thinking, like, I kind of like this. But where's Peter's friends? I kind of missed the Flash, Betty. But I was okay with it.
Yeah, they never...
What about you, Bert?
They never say anything? Because remember, Ned and Betty were dating? And then, like...
Yeah, exactly.
I think they broke up because it was, like, in a TikTok for their Spider-Man, like... It was all awkward. I think they broke up. It's like they never had addressed that.
Oh, yeah, they did break up in the end of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'll go into that later of this franchise. We'll talk about it. But it was good seeing... You know what? And another big complaint was when we meet Doc Ock, when this Peter meets Doc Ock for the first time. And it cuts to deepfake Alfred Molina when he says hello Peter, and that was in the trailer, the hello Peter, and everyone's like, and he looked different, right?
Yeah, he did. I thought he did.
And then they use his regular face, his current face. So I'm like, what was the point of that? You know what I mean?
I don't know why they had to hide that. Yeah, he made a good point. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
That does segue. So that's Act 1, basically. So here's where Peter's life starts really getting shit. So he decides to go to Doctor Strange because he's like, you know what? My friends are getting affected by this. Happy, MJ, it's over. So he goes to Doctor Strange. And people are saying this is when Wong goes to Shang-Chi. But my cousin made a great point. Was it Wong? Have you guys seen... Am I saying their name right, Bruder?
Yeah.
Before I offend anyone. Okay, so...
You're saying Wong, right? It's Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah. Shang-Chi end credit scene is Wong picking up them two and going to Doctor Strange. Where are they now? So I think they will come out in the Doctor Strange movie. That is my bold prediction for that movie. We'll talk about that later, though. So we see Doctor Strange. Crowd, the first time I saw it, clapped.
I mean, this movie's all weird because according to like the Russos, like Wong was because Wong said, Doctor Strange said like Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme because I was blipped, I was gone. But the Russos said that both Wong and Strange were gone. They were both taken, but apparently now it was just Doctor Strange. But anyway,
Wong was always there. Yeah.
And then Green Goblin. So on the bridge, there were pumpkin bombs, and like there was such a big anticipation that like, oh, Green Goblin, like, is he back? Like, what are they gonna do? And then so we see him for like a brief second, and then like he gets warped away to Doctor Strange. And then I'm like,
Yes.
I just wanted to see one last time, you know, Green Goblin flying around in his goblin suit laughing.
The original
Yeah, the
one, yes.
original one.
Two things on that comment. One, let's just play scenario real quick. So Green Goblin's attacking both of them, right?
Hmm.
He gets teleported. He sees that. So he's like, okay, cool. No one can stop me. So did Doctor Strange just let Green Goblin kill more innocent people on the bridge?
Maybe. Yeah,
Because
maybe.
I mean, no one was there to stop him because Spider-Man got warped in there. And then two, who was bitching about the mask? Because I heard they didn't use the mask of the Green Goblin because of the backlash it got. Who bitched about it? Because I want to go slap him in the face.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, I
a
like.
cool mask.
Yeah.
Then they should have kept it through
Iconic.
the whole movie. Iconic, exactly. Yeah, it was unique and iconic. We
And
were just haters.
I would say, and just like one praise for this movie is that it was genuinely funny. Like it had its haha moments. What do you think?
Like the haha moments you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did have haha moments. Just there were some moments where it was like haha moments were like unnecessary in my opinion. But I mean, it did enlighten the mood when everybody was crying. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some scenes that did make me chuckle and laugh. Jamie Foxx was amazing. I know. Shout out Josh. Podcast knows Josh. He didn't like Jamie Foxx.
I didn't
in this
like
movie.
him either. So I guess me and Josh
He
have
didn't
some.
like. Did you think he was a fuckboy like Josh thinks?
Yeah, yeah. Like when we saw him in two, what you call? He was a nerd. He was like a pushover. That was like his big thing. And now he finally has power, and he doesn't know how to use it. But he's all like, and he in this movie he just plays Jamie Foxx just plays himself.
Yeah, he basically does play himself. I thought Jamie Foxx was the most not badass villain. Obviously, it was William Dafoe, but he could kill anybody there, right?
And then
Okay, cool. With the arc reactor,
and then
especially.
another complaint for the villains. Let's go down the line. Lizard, hardly in the movie. Am I right?
Oh, what complaint? Hardly in the movie, and so everyone that knows Peter Parker got teleported. Blah blah blah. He asked Electro, "Do I die, dude? Do you not remember you were in prison? Like,
I think it
you know
was
what I
they
mean?
took him before, because didn't they cure him in the second one, in the first one? I mean, at the end.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, that's
All
true. You got me there.
And
Got
then
me there.
okay, and then let's go down. Sandman.
You made a good point, John. Sandman.
Why-
Sandman. He was fighting for nothing.
Yeah, he was fighting for that. I thought he was good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got the cool Flint Marco, the good guy. And then it's like, Sam Raimi, shout out to him. He knows how to make good villains. And then like the whole thing for Sandman was like, oh, he's doing this because his daughter's sick. He needs to, pay for his daughter's medical bills. And he didn't even ask about his daughter once, did he? I don't recall him being like.
Yeah, he said it once to Electro. He was like, "I have a daughter
Yeah.
I have to go back to."
And then
That's it.
and then like if I was Sandman, whatever. I did they ever say she had like cancer or something? Maybe she could have like some made up disease and be like,
She did have cancer.
or be like, if Sandman, if Spider-Man's fixing everything, he'd be like, hey, in this dimension, do they have the cure for cancer? Because my daughter has cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
because Peter's doing all this stuff.
I get what you're saying.
All this stuff on the.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Huh? I'd be like, "Hey, like, you think you can make something for my daughter?"
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
something like that. Like, yeah.
And then like it
I would've
was just
accepted
his
that.
reason to like turn on Tom Holland was kind of dumb. And then like, yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know, I mean, obviously you know because it's spoiler part. So Electro is fighting to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Green Goblin's fighting to stay, and then Sandman's fighting to go home.
Yeah.
But he's fighting the people who are trying to send him home.
Yeah.
Question mark.
And then
Like,
why
I
does
don't
he?
know.
And then like, because I saw somewhere like he hardly shot, like used him, like his actual self, the guy who plays him. And it's like, well, I'm like, it's stupid because like they're in an apartment. Why would he be in sand form? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like why is he stuck? Like I don't understand why is he stuck as a sand?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't think he wanted to be cured. He didn't even say thank you. He was like, "What?" And is it me or does like when he turns to a human, it looks like old
Yeah,
footage
yeah, yeah. It
from
looks like because
2003, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because he looks like it's basically copy and paste. Even the camera looks weird, in my opinion. So that's Sandman. These are the complaints we're going through,
yeah.
guys.
Another big
We'll
complaint.
go. The only
Um,
complaint I have from Goblin, and we'll just say this now, is that they didn't use his mask, and when they did use his mask, it was CGI.
yeah,
That's it. And they didn't. I don't know, for some reason, I guess he just lost his strength in the final fight because he couldn't even throw a final punch. So whatever. But other than that, oh, and for Doc, any complaints for you, Brandon?
yeah. Another one too is when they're finally all united. They finish making the cures in the high school science lab. Were compared to like he was using a huge Stark machine to make the cures and do whatever and do all of this and that. When they're in a high school science class, literally same science class that you and me used not too long ago.
That is a good point. It's like that high school science class happened to have everything they need to cure three of the most deadliest Spider-Man villains. Like, what are the chances of that? Movie mistake there for sure.
And if we want to also go into technicality, and like technically they're still dead. They still get sent back dead, because nothing's changed because they've cured them, and like nothing happens to like either Toby or Andrew, not that we know of. And since we watched Loki, maybe in they get sent back to a split dimension where they are cured, but this Andrew and Toby's dimension, they die. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure
exactly, yeah.
when Andrew and Toby go back home, nothing happened. Like everything was.
No, yeah, it's still the same.
It's still gonna be the same.
It's still the same.
But
Yeah.
they sent, but but Tom Holland sent them to a reality where they don't die and they're actually cured. So technically, yes, they still do die. And that was the whole big thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to send them to die. Like I don't want to send them. Like I don't want to send them.
But it's their fate.
Yeah, it's their
I would've
fate.
if he said it's their fate, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right.
And then especially
it's their fate,
Green Goblin, who's a straight up murderer who killed who killed the people on the board.
It's
And
exactly. These are murderers, so that's their fate.
Yeah, and then he cut the people on the car, on the rail car, and he's like, it's her, like it's him or fate. What did he say? He had MJ in one hand, and then he had the people.
Oh, it's
But you know what I mean.
Save the woman you love or save the poor innocent children. Yeah. See, like, come on, guys.
Like he is straight up villain.
Straight up villain. So here's what we're gonna do. It sounds like we're nitpicking, but we're not. We love the movie. Okay. In fact, we're about to explain everything we love. We're going down the list of each villain, and just going hang with us, guys. There's some things I want to say about the movie. So Doc Ock, I guess one thing I didn't like about Doc Ock was he was useless. Are you kidding me? He grabs an nanotech and he gets controlled by Peter, and people were okay with that. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I did not like that at all. I thought that was too easy.
Yeah.
And then when I heard that the original fight was 30 minutes, like not 30 minutes, like a 15-minute fight, but they cut it, I was like, nah, I'm not with this. And then not only that, for some reason in the final fight, he grabs Toby and then he grabs Andrew. For some reason, right? He just does it. I don't know why he could have just grabbed Electro from the back. He does that. He teases everybody, and then he cures Electro like Electro didn't shock him before. I guess that would be my only complaint I have about Doc Ock, but other than that, he was good.
Yeah.
You, Brunner?
Yeah, I brought it up in our predictions episode. I was worried because, again, shout out Sam Raimi. Doc Ock was never a pure villain like Green Goblin. It was the inhibitor chip that got fried, and then the arms took over. So, like, he was a good guy all along. He was always a great guy. And then, like, he was still a good guy. Like, he's like, Norman, he's trying to help, but the kid's trying to help us. Like, let's get the help. And then very touching moment at the end when he sees Toby. And then, touching. I saw someone says, like, yeah, it's been a couple days for Doc Ock, but it's been like 11 years for Peter. And then trying to do better.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm crying.
I'm crying too. Everybody's crying. So we did Electro, Sandman, Doc Ock, Goblin. Mm-hmm. And then there's who else? We're missing one more. Oh, Lizard. No, we did them all.
We did Lizard.
Yeah.
All
right. So here's what we.
Another big complaint. I would say final complaint. I mean, besides like going to something else, but Sinister Five. There's only 5 villains. Can get 6. Oh, and then
What do you mean,
Venom.
Marvel? Yeah,
What was the point of putting in Venom
for
for
future.
nothing? Like it was nothing. Like you could have had the movie without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, they did. Okay, so I don't have any more complaints, but
I have, I have so many complaints. But one
you
thing
have so many
is,
more complaints.
yeah, I still got complaints. But one thing
Oh,
is,
okay, let me hear it. I want to hear it.
let's try to wrap it up because my complaint is the thing as a franchise more than this particular movie. But
Okay,
but
we might have to make a part 2 to this. Honestly, I want to hear because we got to talk about the good.
oh yeah. So my praise again, like not Toby. Tom went into this movie going in as a boy, and then came out as a man. Like you saw like
Yeah,
him.
pampered.
Yeah, but no, you saw like him losing Aunt May, and then like he grew up. You know what I mean? And then he made the
Yes.
sacrifice. If I have to give up my friends, you know what I mean, losing my friends so that they can succeed, then let's do it.
Beautiful moment right there. Yeah, he learns to become Spider-Man right there. I'm gonna just okay. I think we should make a part 2 to this. I think we
We still
should.
got we
Literally.
got like 8. We've recorded like 18 minutes, so I mean we still got plenty of time.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we were gonna wrap it up soon. I'm
No,
like,
no, no.
oh,
I mean
okay.
like just like like you know what I mean. But anyway, and then
My
yeah,
bad.
I was
My bad.
very disappointed. I thought I wanted Venom in the movie to fight Peter. I still want a little sneak peek of symbiote, but now if they continue with Tom Holland, then we're gonna see like our classic Peter Parker. He's broke, living by himself. You know, he's struggling, like what you call it, to be a student, to have a job, and then to be Spider-Man. So, and then also, what I hope is we got a brief glimpse of his new suit. But I saw like a TikTok.
Looks good.
I don't like. I feel like he should combine the elements from all three. So his eyes, so because he has his mask, so keep the mask, and then adapt Andrew Garfield's insignia, the long spider, and then keep Toby's gray webs, and then mush them all together, and then there you go. That's his. So it's like he bases his inspiration off of, his predecessors, and now he's actually finally met them. You know what I mean?
AKA PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, PS4.
But thank you.
PS4.
I disagree.
Not PS4, no
on
white
that
logo,
one.
but like the gray webs. I want the gray webs. Give me the gray webs.
I like how my biggest complaint, and everybody that knows me, is the MCU Spider-Man suits are too CGI. So I was happy to see that they went back to original
Yeah,
in the end, and that made me happy.
yeah, that was
Good point.
that was the only good thing about Amazing Spider-Man was it felt more clothy.
There's a lot of good things about Amazing Spider-Man. Soundtrack and actors.
Are you ready?
Josh could give me more. Yeah,
Are you ready
for
to
sure.
talk about to reflect on the franchise, the Tom Holland franchise?
Hold on. Before we reflect on the franchise, I just want to say a few things. All right, guys, the soundtrack of this film is fucking amazing. Anyone that doesn't cry in this film either has no soul or what, brother? They've been to the
Or they're
nether in
the
Minecraft.
elite dragon boss.
Or they're the elite dragon boss where apparently never cried. But hey, you know what? Great film, great soundtrack, great pace. Before we go into the franchise, guys, go watch the film, please. Please, please, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You said you reflect on the franchise, but what do you mean by that?
Well, let's run down the whole thing. Let's start with the first one. I like the first one. My complaint about the franchise is like if you remember Andrew and Tom, especially more Andrew, is like we got shots of like Spider-Man being Spider-Man, like swinging through the city, being Spider-Man, like him enjoying it, having fun. We never got that with Tom Holland.
Nope. Never.
There's
We had, like,
been
him
3
wanting to be
movies,
that.
and only 2 of them, have been in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, first one was good. I don't know why they couldn't get Vulture They should have gotten Vulture because he knows. Because that was the thing. It's like these are people who know Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Vulture knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. You know what I mean?
But he's already in that universe.
But I mean, like, why not fight? You know what I mean? Like
That's what I was saying. Because I was like, if you're gonna make it 5, might as well add Vulture
Yeah.
in there, make it 6. Like, give it what the fanboys want. You know what I mean? But they did. You know, we shouldn't even be complaining because
Okay.
Marvel did a lot. in
the
this
first
movie.
one was really
Shout out
good.
Marvel. First one was really good. It was a movie because if you guys watch every MCU movie, it's all the same.
Yeah.
This was a good refresher and like a good,
But like,
yeah.
this
movie
again,
doesn't have a
this
big
one,
impact
This
towards
one
the
was
MCU.
a good one because Michael Keaton, the villain, had a really good villain. Michael Keaton. And
Yes.
like
By the way, guys,
Go ahead.
sorry. I saw the movie with Brunner. That was his first time seeing it, just like No Way Home again. And hilariously enough, I was waiting to see Brunner's reaction when Michael Keaton was revealed to be the father of Liz. And his reaction will forever to this day be engraved in my head. Like, he was so shocked. He was like, I will never forget
like,
Brunner's
yeah,
face.
the
It's like,
pacing
what
was
the
so
fuck?
good.
Yeah.
And like
dude.
it made you so
That was-
nervous. And then what I was gonna say is the most memorable thing is when they're driving in the car, and then he puts it 2 and 2 together that he's Spider-Man, and then the light turns green. Like the stoplight turns green, and it's like, oh, in his head, the light turned green. That he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, good symbolism right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's symbolism.
Good directing right there.
And then
Yeah.
yeah. So
great.
first one was pretty good.
Fuck Keegan.
Second one,
Love Keegan.
I'm not a big fan of the second one.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
like
with
he's
you.
not
I think the
like,
second one
like
is just,
he's not
it's
in.
clustered.
It's like he's not in New York, and like I feel like this was he's been very self-centered. Like, oh, he wants to get with MJ. That's the big thing. Get with MJ. Get with MJ. Get with MJ. And then things keep pulling him or pushing him out of the way of his goal. But Mysterio was good.
And
Jake Gyllenhaal killed it as Mysterio.
stole the show.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then they made him like more practical compared to like the comic book, which is good.
Which they need to, yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do that.
But again, I didn't like it that they were in Europe, and then like there's I just didn't like
I
it.
didn't like how in the first fight when he's fighting that water creature, Peter Parker was so useless and dumb. Like, really? Like, you're getting hit by the belt twice.
And then
like,
he
millions
gives
of
his glasses to a stranger. You know what I mean?
I know, dude. Yeah, like, you don't even like. Go give it to an Avenger.
Yeah.
You know the Avengers. Go give it to them. I don't know. There's that, and then I didn't like how MJ he got MJ too easily.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest thing about every. I wouldn't even say that either because Andrew got Gwen really easy too. Just kissed her in front of her house.
Mm-hmm.
And made fun of her dad that day. That's baller status.
Mm-hmm.
Roll back the clip of what Brunner thinks of Andrew Garfield right now. And it's the clip of Brunner calling him hot.
I think it's good looking, but it's like before we go into it, because we'll talk about it because we still got plenty of time about the two franchises before him. And then I just didn't like it, and then this didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. You know what I mean? Like these.
This movie makes you feel like you're Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's one of those movies.
Oh, and then again, another complaint. Is it me or did it have those weird POV shots in No Way Home? Like they were unnecessary. Remember he's running on the bridge? And there was like a POV of him running on the bridge. And then he's FaceTiming.
They did that again.
Yeah.
They did that again. Yeah.
And then he's FaceTiming MJ and it's a POV. And it's not even real hands. It was like CG hands. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice that. And they did that again with the Doc Ock fight. It was like, I'm coming. And he was like ready to go. Yeah, they did that again.
That was
the only
unnecessary.
time I agree with it is the first person shot is, and I'm sure everybody else will agree with me, whoever's listening, is Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, because that's
we
what
can start-
that guy was
yeah.
probably doing. He's like, oh, I forgot this is a Spider-Man movie, so let me put a POV shot. It's
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 1 does it well, though.
yeah,
You know,
because
I
it's
like the
swinging,
point-
so you
yeah.
get it. Yeah, he's swinging
Yeah,
and through New York
exactly,
having
yeah.
fun. So it's like, oh, let me put you kind of like in the eyes of Spider-Man.
Yeah, they probably
'Cause that's
put,
what people
a
want.
GoPro right here.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, you forgot. It was like so unnecessary.
So Brunner said reflect on the franchise real quick. I'm gonna go to Andrew.
Yeah.
Since two
yeah,
movies.
quickest. He's only 2.
Yeah.
I thought
okay,
Andrew
so
was a good Spider-Man. I
Yeah,
thought
if you got okay,
Emma Stone was
yeah,
a good
everybody
Gwen.
needs to go back and rewatch it. Everybody, I'm sure everybody did. I bought all the movies. I already have them on
Same.
DVD. So I bought all the movies. We rewatched them. Spider-Man One is still boring, yes, but it is the best Spider-Man movie out of both movies, in my opinion. I think the message is strong. I think Aunt May is really good. I think Lizard's cool. I don't like the suit,
I don't
but I
like
like how
Sue.
unique it is. And I love the swinging. I
Yeah, the
love the
swing, that
final
was the best
swinging.
thing.
Yeah.
And then
And I love how realistic it is
and then
too.
that's my biggest complaint about Tom Holland's franchise. There's no swinging. And then remember
Nope,
in Amazing
never.
Spider-Man 1 I think it was one, right? Where he's in the crane and then he goes through the crane like the little small thing in the
Yeah.
crane.
And you know what? That's a cool moment too because you know what I love about the both franchises of Toby and Andrew. It reflects how New Yorkers help New
Yeah.
Yorkers out.
Yeah.
So in the first Toby movie, New Yorkers come out to
Yeah.
go help Spider-Man with
Yeah.
the Green Goblin.
Hmm.
And this one, the crane workers.
Yeah.
What's the next one? No, they don't really. They go to Europe apparently.
Yeah,
So
it's like
that,
because that's the
they
big thing.
failed
Thank you
there.
for bringing that up because that's the big thing is like Spider-Man is New York, you know? Like Captain America
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
like he's from New York, but people identify like people love Spider-Man more, you know what I mean? Cuz
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man
Like
like
Captain
in the
America's
comics,
the nation
yeah,
at that point.
cuz Spider-Man's like a hero of the people. And then like I never got that with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And that was the big
No one
thing.
knew who he was. They're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Like, really?
And then
So yeah.
but
Go ahead.
my pick, so I think Andrew was good. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy was good. Shout out, you know, not going the classic MJ route they did with Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And I
But,
like the
like,
Flash in that movie.
Yeah. But I feel like the movies just had terrible writing in it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Like
For sure.
apparently, remember like Peter's parents were like assassinated. And then like remember they went on a plane
Yeah.
trip and then somehow the plane just malfunctioned and like they died. And then
Yeah.
there was like a post credit scene. Did you ever see it? I never saw it. I just saw it till recently.
No,
Of,
no, no.
of
That's not a post-credit scene.
it was real.
That's
I don't
not a
remember it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
Okay.
about?
So that was yeah. Okay. So what Brie was referring to, guys, we're just gonna hop over to Amazing Spider-Man real quick. There was a deleted scene where Peter's father comes back.
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys haven't watched it, go on YouTube, look up Amazing Spider-Man 2 deleted scene. You guys are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
That's so
But
weird. It's so awkward. It's a Spider-Man movie. It's not like a drama. Like it just feels awkward.
It is. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys the backstory to that, and I will tell you guys right now, it is confirmed, 100% confirmed, that the all deleted scenes are not canon
Okay.
because there's deleted scenes of Black Cat, there's deleted scenes of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. He does tell Peter, "With great power comes great responsibility." So that's gonna make you mad if you love No Way Home and you love that moment when they're talking about great power comes with great responsibility, because that's what Uncle Ben said. Nope. In the deleted scene, Peter's dad says it. However, it was supposed to be revealed that that wasn't his dad. That was going to be Chameleon.
Oh,
And you guys don't know who Chameleon is.
see,
Yeah, seriously.
This is just getting
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, see, it gets weird. It's like they're doing so many extra stuff. And I think that's why they failed, is because they tried pushing so many villains in one movie. You know what I
And
mean?
then-
It's like, so Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Amazing Spider-Man.
first off, fuck Peter's parents.
yeah. And
Go ahead.
Oh, Green Goblin, Amazing Spider-Man 2. They're like, let's make him more goblin-y. And it failed. Like it didn't. It just looked weird. Like I
Yeah,
feel
it
more
did.
comfortable
Okay,
with
so-
Willem Dafoe wearing a suit. People make fun of it calling Power Ranger suit. I'm like, I'd rather. To me, Power Ranger suit is more frightening than that weird guy. You know what I mean?
I would have been like, dude, that's a crack addict.
And
You
then
look like a
I
crack
feel
addict.
like
And
the whole Harry Osborn
Norman
and Amazing
dies.
Spider-Man 2. I feel like that was a little forced. You know what I mean? Like they really wanted to push it in there.
very forced.
Where in Toby it was natural, you know what I mean? Like they had good chemistry.
So okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna talk about Amazing Spider-Man right now. Peter's parents, because you don't need to know Peter's parents to know a Spider-Man movie. If you guys would to start the movie off with the opening swing, which is probably the best swing and soundtrack of all three Spider-Mans, can you agree?
Agree.
That would help, right? And then go fast forward it. Tell me this, Brunner. What the fuck is the Osborn curse? Like, you're just gonna force it on us that Peter and Harry were best friends since the beginning, and that Norman Osborn was there the whole time, and that no, like they just try selling you on a bunch of stuff, and then so Norman dies. Peter's like, oh, I gotta call Harry. He calls Harry. They go to the park. Oh, remember that time we went here? Remember that time we went there? It's like, dude, what? You're gonna force the audience to care about Peter, Aunt May, Gwen. Who else? That's it, right? So that's a lot. That's a lot you're asking for a Spider-Man movie. Oh, and his parents, because that whole movie, it's Peter trying to figure out who his dad was. I did love the part where Aunt May breaks down, where she's like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I miss Ben. I don't know where you go. I'm working just to put you to college. I think that part is very emotional. I love that part. Other than that, I think the rest of the movie is mid.
Yeah.
Not even that. Like, I fell asleep rewatching it. I won't even lie with you guys. That's my take on that.
My final complaint before we go into Toby, because that one's pretty unanimous.
The goat.
My biggest complaint for Amazing Spider-Man 1 is when he goes, to look for Uncle Ben's killer. And he does it one time, one or two times, and then he gives up. You know what I mean? He put a poster board of guys like matching the description, and then just gives up. You know what I mean? And that we never hear from it ever again.
And that's the reason he becomes Spider-Man. Not because he wants to, save the little people. He's just doing it to go pick up all the little muggers to find who he wants and kill him. Because he even said, I'm going to kill him. And I'm like, okay, you're going dark now. Which, by the way, sidetrack to the conversation the three Spider-Mans had. If you guys don't know this, to the audience, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man at No Way Home, I'm sorry, is it called No Way Home? Yeah, No Way Home is 29 years old. That Peter Parker is 29 years old, so it was 10 years after Gwen's death.
Was it?
So, yeah, it was. It's confirmed.
That was like
29 years old.
I thought it was like 3 or 4.
No, it was, and it makes sense because Peter was 11 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
anyway.
For him it's 10. Yeah, that makes sense. But real quick, for 10 years, Peter Parker was pulling his punches, meaning he probably killed some people. Spider-Man's punch could kill people, and he even said, "I started getting hateful" or something like that. And I don't want you to go down that same path. And he starts crying because he knows what the path is. That's dark. I want to explore that path. I thought I'm like, perfect.
And then
but that's all I gotta say about that franchise.
I didn't think we brought up, but I got emotional when he caught MJ Zendaya, and he cried a little bit because
loud cheer from my audience. Yeah. Redemption, yeah, and it was a good redemption arc, and I heard Andrew Garfield wanted that scene. He said that I won't come back unless I could get redeemed for saving somebody, and of course it had to be a love interest. Mm-hmm. Shout out Andrew Garfield, we love you. I'm sorry that the haters were really hard on you, and hey, you know what I mean. I'm glad he went. Him and Tobey Maguire sticked it to an audience, so they heard it themselves. I'm so glad that they both relived it. Shout out Marvel, in general. They didn't have to do that. They really didn't.
Yeah. All right, let's go down with Sam Raimi.
Oh, wait. I was about to say, we have one more franchise to go with. Start off with
Spider-Man 1.
Spider-Man 1.
I feel it was really good. It gets kind of hate, but I feel like the pacing was really good. Like, we meet him. He's in high school. And then, he gets his powers. He loses Uncle Ben. He gets his powers. And then he graduates. And now he's living with Harry. But again, Willem Dafoe, amazing.
Kills it again.
And
Okay,
like, I'm just saying real
maybe if
quick,
you
like
guys don't know this.
it packed a lot of stuff. Like Sam Raimi, like they packed a lot of stuff, and you don't feel like, oh, this movie's dragging on. Like it packed a lot of stuff, and it like quickly went down. You know, everything.
It's a 2 hour film, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
but it didn't
what I
feel
do
like a
like about
2 hour
this
film. You know what I
movie,
mean?
it doesn't feel like it because the pace is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it starts off with the beautiful soundtrack of
Mm-hmm.
Dan Ellerman. I think I'm sure I'm butchering that. We see that Peter's late for the bus. He's a loser. He goes to science class. We see Harry. He doesn't have a good relationship with his father. We see who he loves. We see who the bully is. It's really simple. It doesn't really force it down our throats. So here's what I love about Spider-Man 1. I just love how New York looks. I don't know why I'm a sucker for like 2005, 2000, like no, 1998 from 2005 New York. It's like unique New York. You know what I mean? There's no technology. There's no like big lights. It's like kind of dirty, but it's still New York. And Sam Raimi does a great job capturing that. I love how Spider-Man has this unique webs. People got really hate for it, but I love that. They didn't have they went their own route. And even as a kid, I was like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I say about the dude? At first, I didn't know this, but I was scared as a kid when Goblin would attack Aunt May. You know that scene where he
Mm-hmm.
attacks her?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was
Yeah,
because
that
he
was
figured it
crazy.
out at a dinner table. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I was like, that's dark, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but the foreshadowing of that. So, if you guys don't know, Goblin's powers is like,
Yeah.
because my brother didn't notice it. You could see everything that he gets in the machine. So he
Mm-hmm.
gets like, I guess, what does he get?
He
Strength,
gets like strength. He gets superhuman
intelligence.
strength. Well, he was pretty intelligent
Yeah,
already
and he
because
was
he was
already
a
smart.
scientist.
Yeah, he was
But
already
I'm pretty
smart.
sure it did a little more to it because
I
he's
love the
something of a
part where he's
scientist
hanging from
himself.
the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, the good one, Ritter. He's hanging from the roof and the blood falls. My favorite battle of all Spider-Man movies will
Mm-hmm.
always be the final battle between Green Goblin and Spider-Man. I love how the mask breaks from the explosion. I love the sound of the bricks when he hits it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just so satisfying to me. Um,
And then another
will
thing
always be
was
actually.
unexpected was yeah was when he goes to the fire and he tries to save that woman, but it's Green Goblin. And he's like, "You're so
Yep.
predictable." Like I didn't expect
Yep.
that at all. I'm like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Did he cause
Exactly.
that fire?"
You're
You know
so
what I mean?
predictable,
And just
like a
waiting for
moth to the
Spider-Man.
flame.
Yeah,
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's crazy that he would.
yeah. He's
Oh,
just
and if
pure
you guys
villain,
don't know
and
this,
it's awesome.
one of the greatest Green Goblin quotes, and that still lives up to this movie, No Way Home, is despite everything they've done for you, eventually they will hate you. And look what happens in No Way
Hmm.
Home.
Yeah, he should have
Everything
brought
he's
that up
done, and he
again.
still gets it. He
Yeah.
should have, right? That's what I was telling my brother. I'm like, that's such a bad quote. He has to say that in a movie. He never did.
Hmm.
But,
And then
dude,
Spider-Man
I'm so
2.
sad that they killed him.
Yeah. So sad. But
Oh,
quickly, Spider-Man 2.
real quick, before we go to Spider-Man 2, real quick. I didn't know this till now, but I was watching a video. Sam Raimi said this too. So you know how Goblin kills himself because of the glider, right?
Hmm.
So apparently, Goblin's plan was to kill both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
He was gonna impale Spider-Man and impale himself. I didn't know that. I was like, he's gonna go for a double murder. I was like, that's trippy. But once he did it, he was like, oh, it's just me. So that sucks.
Hmm.
But yeah, Spider-Man 2, again,
Probably the greatest Spider-Man
great
movie of all
film.
time.
Yeah,
And then
probably.
another
For
credit
sure.
to Sam Raimi. He remember we were complaining earlier this episode. We're like, oh, in Amazing Spider-Man, they try to jam in all these characters, like Black Cat, and it
Yeah.
was gonna be Chameleon, like you said. And
Black
then
Cat,
Sam Raimi
Doc
did
Ock
it
in the
very
background.
subtly,
Yeah,
like
Chameleon.
Curtis Connors. They had Dr.
Doc
Connors, which
Connors was
goes up to be
there.
Lizard, and then they had Man Wolf or Wolfman, J. Jonah Jameson's son, the astronaut, and the comics becomes Wolfman. And then he brought up Doctor Strange. Remember at the Daily Bugle? They're like, "What are we gonna call him?"
Yeah.
Doctor
Like, it's
Strange.
taken.
Yeah, it's taken. It's like they did
Yeah.
it so subtly, and then I'm like, yeah, a little more. That's good world building. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
it's
Like,
like,
they
are
don't
we gonna
force it
see
down our
Doctor
throat. Like,
Connors?
oh,
You
there's
know what I
that
mean?
guy from New York. Yeah, exactly. And then what I love about it, it's like they don't try to force you to show that he has a empty hand. It's like they just have a normal camera angle, and if you see he doesn't have a hand, you know damn well what's gonna happen later on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Bruder said, they don't force it. You have to find it yourself, and only real Spider-Mans figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Like it was a treat for real Spider-Man
Spider-Man
fans.
2. So yes, so here's why I think Spider-Man 2 is probably the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. For me personally, I just think it's so, how do you put it? You can kind of relate to Peter. You know what I mean? He's late on rent. He can't get the girl he wants. He's struggling in school.
Mm-hmm.
His Aunt May is about to get foreclosured. He's
Mm-hmm.
living the life, dude. And you feel that. And you
Mm-hmm.
feel for him. And then all that, he has to be Spider Man. And he can't get what he always wants. And I think this film shows us how it is to be Peter Parker.
Peter.
How shit it was to be Spider Man. But how he still does it because he needs to be Spider Man. And he will always do it because there's great power comes great responsibility. And we see him give up. And he's living the great life. But of course, what happens? MJ cheats once more. By the way, if you guys don't notice, MJ cheats in every Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 1, she cheats on Harry. In Spider-Man 2, she cheats on J. Jonah Jameson's son. And in Spider-Man 3, she cheats on Peter. So I'll just leave that there. But I love that. I love how Doc Ock wasn't a pure villain. He lost his wife. The arms took over. Great horror scene, mini horror scene that was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Sam
Yeah.
Raimi did an
Evil
amazing
Dead
job.
reference.
And they captured New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Evil Dead reference. And they captured New York once more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It
COVID
was
cough.
like it was an existential crisis for Peter because he wants to live his normal life, and he kind of like wants to give up on being Spider-Man, and it's like he can't have both. And it's like he realizes I have to be Spider-Man. Like the people need me. Like as much as I kind of don't like it, this is something I have to do. I have to do it for the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to save lives.
And he
And then
accepts
so
that.
like he
Yeah.
gets his confidence back, and then like yeah, again, Doc Ock was never a villain. You know, like Peter looked up to
Yep.
Doc Ock. That's how we meet him. He's writing a paper for him, and then Harry's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'll get you an interview because he's doing work for me." And then they talk they talk all this science stuff, and then he knows he's like, "No, Doc, you're not a villain." And then Doc Ock goes out saving, you know, like he's what you call it, sacrifices himself to save New York, and he says, "I
Yeah.
will not die a
He
monster."
does it. He drowns it.
He drowns it. He drowns
Redeemed.
it with his machine.
I
And then,
honestly thought that's when he was gonna get sucked up into the other world. That's when he did that. But I guess I was wrong.
but yeah, he actually cleared up fight it before, and like you know when in the movie he's like I had my tentacles around his head, and that's when they're both laying down, and then he gets up, goes, and then Spider-Man 3, not so good, but I mean it was still good. Get to see Venom.
yeah.
I liked Dark Peter Parker. I liked Venom. I like how they did it. You know what you call it? It was, again, shout out Sam Raimi, made it comic book accurate. I liked
And they introduced Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, memeable moments,
Gwen.
dig on this, and
Yeah, memorable moments.
but
A lot of memorable moments. It's too many for us
I was
to name.
sad. I was sad when we lost Harry. I'm like, I got a little emotional.
Yeah, I
when
did
it came
too.
out
I
when
was sad
fucking
as a kid.
8 years old. Yeah, when we lost Harry.
I got sad as a kid, but they made it as a joke in this movie. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can we say, right?
I thought Sandman
But
was
real
good.
quick, guys. Yeah, Simon was good. I'm just gonna give my final remarks because I don't know if you got. Well, no one knows this, but I do have COVID right now, so my voice is feeling a little raspy. But so Spider-Man 3, like River said, wasn't good, but I liked it personally. I like in the end how the crowd's cheering for Spider-Man, Hobgoblin comes in and helps Peter. I thought Sandman was defeated way too easily, but whatever. We won't talk about that. Um, were they supposed to be three villains? No, huh? No,
They're supposed
they
to be.
just focused on the two. They,
Hmm.
I remember as a kid, I had a Venom toy, and I was in love with that. And I don't know why people gave it. I mean, I can see why people gave it hate, but I think that's just because, I grew up and I saw it in movie theaters, and I was just like, dude, this is cool. But again, I would rate it as my least favorite one out of all three. Do I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 is better than that movie? No. No, not at all.
We'll have to
I
definitely.
think Spider-Man 3.
Once Elite watches it, we'll definitely have to make a tier list of all Spider-Man movies.
Yes, I agree. That's next tier list would
Um,
be that. Well, unless another me and Brunner episode, we'll go
Mhm.
ahead and do that.
All right, yeah.
Go ahead, Brunner.
Who knows where we're going with the Spider-Man franchise so far? I mean, I feel like kind of a little nervous for Tom Holland because I mean they could just end it there because we thought we were gonna get a third Amazing Spider-Man movie because it literally ends with whoever that man was like walking and there's like Vulture armor, there's Doc Ock armor, and then you know what I mean?
A symbiote. Yeah.
It's
It
like
was actually a symbiote.
because I'm always
I don't
on
know if you
guard.
noticed.
You know what I mean? Like because they just ended it. That was it.
Yeah.
Like I still remember it. Like they just ended it.
Well,
And like there was like, oh,
you
there's
gotta
gonna be a
remember they
Sinister
added it
Six
to
movie.
start the MCU Spider-Man.
There's gonna be a Sinister
Yeah, I
Six
remember
movie and this and
I
that.
do remember that.
And I think like they're gonna get Craven, they're gonna get Mysterio, and then like it just ended. And for poor Andrew. And then people are saying they want Andrew Garfield movie.
Yeah, poor Andrew.
I'm like, I kind
They
of do,
should.
yeah. But I'm like, I don't know if Sony's gonna shell out that much money. But because it's
Yeah,
it's
it might be
expensive.
too late.
Yeah. I mean, and then if they do, it's like, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? It's I don't know, but anyway.
Like,
So
I think
I think
they should do. I don't know.
And then-
you're right. I can't even think
let
of
me
that
ask
right
you
now.
this question. It's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Toby will show up in the Doctor Strange movie? Because that's what people have been saying.
No.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
And why would
'Cause
he
they're
show
like-
up? You know what I mean?
Because in real life they're good friends, and he's like, hey, if you just recently put it on, will you do it again? And they're like, yeah, they said he'll do it, but and then now there's a rumor going around saying that John Krasinski shot some scenes as Mr. Fantastic. And he's gonna be a multiverse variant. As
That has
Fantastic
to be
Four.
fake.
Yeah. Anyway, but curious to see what's
I
gonna
heard
happen.
rumors that Professor X was supposed to come out, so we'll see about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come out
I'm
this
very
year, right?
curious to see. Yeah,
Nice.
like April or like March or April. Anyway, but
Cool.
I think we've
I
talked.
like those. I like when MC movies come out in spring.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we've talked
Sorry to interrupt you. Go
a
ahead.
lot, and I think we should wrap
Yeah,
it
we
there.
have.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Yes, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Shout out everyone, of course. Thank you for coming back. We'll be back full force next week with all of us. Sorry for the late spoiler review. We do appreciate everything. Maybe we'll make a part 2 of it. Who knows? Probably not. We will do that S tier. Thank you though. Continue to support the social medias. I'll try to go back on Instagram with the reels, but tags. Instagram hates our tags. Thank you
Instagram
guys for
hates us.
listening.
That's a story for another time.
Yeah, they do. They do. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a good one.